Bonsoir et bienvenue à cette édition du journal sur My Media Prime Television. Et ouvrons l'édition de ce jour avec ce drame survenu au lieu-dit Bonamoussadi, Carrefour Lycée, dans la nuit du 27 au 28 avril, où deux enfants âgés de 3 et 7 ans sont passés de vie à trépas après avoir consommé de l'avocat. Les premiers éléments des enquêtes révèlent qu'ils auraient été empoisonnés. Le récit de Quentin Etapé qui était sur le lieu du drame.
Émotion et consternation. Ici au Carrefour Lycée Bonamoussadi. Deux enfants sont passés de vie à trépas hier soir aux environs de 19h. Ils auraient été empoisonnés. L'un est mort à l'hôpital à Quintini et l'autre en cours de route lors de son transfert dans le dit centre sanitaire. Un membre de la famille relate les faits.
Je suis mes avocats. Vers 16h, quelques minutes, ma fille m'appelle. Maman, viens voir. J'arrive, je demande que c'est quoi ma nièce. Elle me dit que Noé pleure son ventre. Noé a pleuré son ventre. À l'instant, on amène Noé à l'hôpital, il a rendu l'âme. 30 minutes après, on amène Lisandra. Lisandra a rendu l'âme. Oh, le docteur m'a demandé d'amener tous les enfants pour les amener. Il m'a demandé de les transférer, qu'on les transfère à la Quintini. Elles sont à la Quintini, les trois autres. Mais à l'instant, on me dit que ça va déjà. Ils sont en train de demander les sœurs. Ils sont en train de demander Lisandra et Noé.
Les parents des défunts sont inconsolables. Toute la famille est triste. C'est une nouvelle qui laisse le papa de l'enfant décédé sans voix. Sur 5 personnes qui ont consommé le fruit d'avocat, 2 sont décédés, les 3 autres sont examinés, ils sont en bonne santé. Difficile donc de déterminer les causes véritables de cet incident. La famille des défunts demanderait de faire une autopsie pour faire la lumière sur le décès de ses enfants.
C'est un drame de plus en milieu scolaire au Cameroun. À la suite d'une violente altercation avec son camarade, un élève du lycée technique de Njombe Penja ne verra plus ou alors n'aura plus jamais 2 bras après que son camarade de classe l'ait coupé. C'est un reportage que nous propose Fon Quinta.
This is a student of Government Technical High School Njombe, identified as Parfait Njotenu Tala, victim of a group fight, currently receiving treatment in a hospital in Njombe after his arm was chopped off with a machete. Reports say Parfait was involved in a group fight between some youths from Kache Kampita and those from Wele, all neighborhoods in Njombe Mungo Division, Littoral region of Cameroon. According to sources, the fight was sparked after an argument at a funeral vigil, and Parfait, alongside his friends, embarked on a revenge mission the next day, in which one of his arms was chopped off. The children left and returned with stones and began throwing them on some of the young men they had the argument with at a funeral vigil. We begged them to stop, but our plea fell on deaf ears, as Parfait and his friends said they should leave them in peace. Witnesses say as the verbal exchange continued, Parfait rushed to pick up a stone and attack, but unfortunately for him, his arm was cut. The victim's mother says Parfait picked up his arm after it was cut and escaped. The child's hand was cut and it fell down. He picked it up and mounted a bike, though he fell on third row. Parfait, student of Government Technical High School Njombe, who is currently receiving medical and psychological follow-up in hospital, advised youths to never resort to violence, as it is not a solution to any problem.
De nombreux bâtiments commerciaux et des maisons dans certains quartiers de Buea sont en cours de démolition menée par le conseil municipal de Buea afin de décongestionner la ville et ouvrir le développement ou la voie au développement de la ville. L'activité a été critiquée par les victimes. Le reportage de Clarisse Ekowe.
Many commercial buildings and homes of some residents in Buea are being demolished. This demolition exercise is being carried out by a team from the Buea Council. Most buildings here at Afosi Wrestling Field stretch of road, a neighborhood in Buea town, found in the southwest region of Cameroon, have not respected the building plan of the town. The buildings here have encroached into the major road constructed in the 90s. Also, most buildings are built very close to each other, making circulation impossible.
Even though my people are crying, but I don't have much to say because we must do the development. We are talking about distances, about COVID-19. People don't yet understand. It occurs in our construction too. Look at the house, too tight. And too tight, you can't have access of good health. If somebody is sick here, you can't get a car to rush into the hospital. So the council decided to do this, and we are managing the road, and we are doing the best. We are not destroying, but we are arranging it because they will enjoy the facilities of this road more than we working even. So as the road engineer, I just advise them they should take calm. There's no development without roads. What of development without roads, without water? Air is free, but water is not free. You must work for. Road you must work for.
Thus, this exercise carried out under high instruction from Barrister David Mafani Namange, Mayor of the Buea Council, is to decongest the town and pave the way for more development.
It is a pleasure for us to have such events like this because this road is an existing road for more than 50 years. So we have our Lord Mayor. It didn't necessary to make some gesture to have some development. So we are very happy that the population is cooperating with us.
While carrying their luggage to safer location, these victims, who have been rendered homeless by this demolition exercise, have expressed discontent as they don't have alternative home to shelter themselves.
This house is my in-laws' house, and I'm like, I don't know what to say. It's really heartbreaking, you know.
It don't happen. It don't happen. What I would think up. Or they made the head me build the house for me. Me I sit down there. I don't get no any other thing. My couple they don't shakara. I get it. Me go me help me now. I build no house. Oh, they give me now some place. I go build the deed.
This demolition exercise is expected to pave the way for more developments through the construction of a major road under the approved public investment budget for the year 2021.
La situation sécuritaire dans l'est du pays est bien meilleure. C'est le constat qu'a fait le chef d'état-major des armées, le général René-Claude Meka, lors d'une mission de contrôle opérationnel récemment dans l'est du pays, visite lors de laquelle il a tout de même appelé à plus de vigilance. Je vous propose de suivre ce reportage.
Les 2 jours de visite de travail du chef d'état-major des armées, le général René-Claude Meka, dans l'est du pays, avaient pour but d'avoir des informations de sources directes concernant la sécurité à la frontière entre le Cameroun et la RCA, ceci suite aux récentes crises sécuritaires dans le pays voisin. Une situation qui, pour le général, appelle à plus de vigilance constante des forces de défense camerounaises au long de la frontière.
Actuellement, la situation est sous contrôle. Ce n'est pas une clause de style, mais c'est la réalité. Parce qu'il y a beaucoup moins de sécurité. Ça ne veut pas dire que ceux qui veulent faire du grabuge ont renoncé à leur projet. Ça veut tout simplement dire que maintenant, par exemple, entre le Cameroun et la RCA, ça passe. À l'intérieur, on peut circuler.
À l'issue de cette séance de travail qui s'est tenue à la salle de banquet de la commune de Garoua-Boulaye, en présence du gouverneur de la région de l'Est, Grégoire Mvongo, et les principaux responsables des forces de défense à Bertoua et à Garoua-Boulaye, le général a déclaré que la situation est sous contrôle. Pour rappel, durant la fin de l'année 2020 et le début de l'année 2021, la RCA a connu un regain de tensions sociopolitiques et sécuritaires qui ont entraîné un afflux de réfugiés vers le Cameroun, ce qui a poussé les autorités militaires locales à renforcer le dispositif sécuritaire le long de la frontière commune entre les deux pays.
Suite aux récentes vagues de violence au Tchad après le décès du feu président tchadien Idriss Déby Itno et l'installation éventuelle d'un gouvernement temporel dirigé par Mahatma Déby, fils du feu président, des Tchadiens ont migré vers le Cameroun voisin, se réfugiant au consulat du Tchad, et à cet effet, le gouverneur du Nord a effectué une visite au consulat du Tchad où il a exprimé sa profonde sympathie. Guenda Perdrine Blanche.
Following the death of former Chadian President Idriss Déby Itno, Chad has witnessed a series of protests and confrontations between civilians and the military. According to reports, at least 5 civilians were killed on Tuesday in sporadic protests in Jamina and southern Chad. Sources say the staged demonstrations to protest against the new leader, General Mohamed Idriss Déby, son of Idriss Déby Itno. It is for this reason, amongst others, that several Chadians have fled to neighboring Cameroon for safety. The Chadians were received at the Chadian consulate in Cameroon, and the governor of the North region paid a visit recently to express sympathy over the death of late President Idriss Déby Itno. The governor of the North region equally preached the idea of peace, love, and unity during his visit.
To manifest our compassion for the Chad people, not only in the North region, but also to say them that we are together and we will be in the same attitude for this very deeply moment. So
the Chadian Consul General equally expressed appreciation at the help offered Chad during the time of need, regretting the present state of affairs in Chad.
Mon message, c'est un message de paix.
My message is the message of peace. We have lost a great man, President Idriss Déby Itno. He was a man of peace. It is the same message he left even after death. We have to build our country together. To the Chadian residents in Cameroon, it is the spirit of peace and reconciliation that we need for the advancement of our country. The new junta, Mohamed Idriss Déby, has banned all forms of demonstrations in the country. According to his first national address, Chad will continue to hold its grounds and assume its responsibilities in the fight against terrorism and will respect all its international commitments.
Autre chose à présent, des fils et filles de Baye Pagna, une localité du département de Mbongué, région du sud-ouest, ont lancé la première phase d'un projet de captage d'eau visant à permettre l'approvisionnement en eau potable pour toute la communauté et ses environs. Dolingonde.
While many believe developmental projects in both urban and rural settings must be accomplished by the state, a minority group under the banner Baye Pagna Sons and Daughters Development Association, BAPASDA, are changing the narratives. Baye Pagna is a village in Mbongué subdivision of the southwest region of Cameroon, and for a very long time the inhabitants have not been privileged to access potable drinking water, amongst other plights. With water being the most essential liquid to humanity, the sons and daughters of Baye Pagna, BAPASDA, both in and out of the country, after launching a fundraising scheme in which close to 1.7 million francs CFA was raised, the first phase of the water project has been realized with the restoration of the mother tap in the village. Working towards the site, the chief, accompanied by the traditional council secretary, some local elders, amongst others, are set for the ribbon cutting. Meanwhile, in a mobilized setting, the project coordinator had some explanation explanations to make to the community.
If we go by that house, we calculate say Panyat get about 250 houses. We go get 300 houses, we will get about 1.5 million. Now we target our brothers the day for outside. If all them they give, we figure about 1 million. We target the one that will Kumba, Douala, Yaoundé, we figure around 500 from them. Now the estimate that we work on for our head. Well, we don't collect, say, 2 million. We decide to start the project.
The execution of Phase 1 also witnessed the organization of an inter-quarter football tournament, which presented the perfect opportunity for more funds to be raised. After the realization of Phase 1, the next phase is previewed for the extension of the project to other locations, followed by the construction of a water catchment and then the laying of water pipes to be concluded with the tap flows. However, while soliciting the help of the government, the sons and daughters of Bai Panya Association Bapazda are also calling on the support of well-wishers, especially elites from this area who are yet to be a part of the success story, by simply responding via the access lines displayed on the screen.
C'était une journée triste hier, surtout pour les chrétiens des églises presbytériennes du Cameroun, après le décès de l'ancien modérateur de l'église presbytérienne du Cameroun, le révérend Nyansako Nkou, décédé des suites de maladie. Le révérend Fonki Samuel a fait appel aux chrétiens de prier pour le repos de l'âme du défunt. Nora Kakebi.
It was pronounced that God in His grace forgives sinners. That only Jesus can save. I became a minister to be involved in the pursuit of justice and to call the nations to repentance.
The former moderator of the Presbyterian Church in Cameroon, Dr. Nyansako Ninku, passed on to eternity at the hospital in Douala yesterday, Tuesday, April 27, after a protracted illness. The exact cause of his death has not been released, but the PCC says the late pastor had battled with ill health. He is the latest moderator to journey to the world beyond since the independence of the PCC in 1957 after Reverend Awasum, Reverend Gole and Reverend Kangson. The Right Reverend Dr. Nyansako served as moderator of the Presbyterian Church in Cameroon between the years 1999 and 2009. Since his death was announced yesterday by the PCC, tributes have been pouring endlessly across the board, especially from pastors who had the grace to pass through his tutelage. He has greatly impacted the lives of many Christians, such as Reverend Masok, Reverend Bar Pius, and many others. According to Reverend Bar Pius, the late moderator emeritus was a spiritual icon, spiritual guru, a legend, and much more. He was a leader who wanted the best results. In what sounded like a rebuke to African heads of state, the late moderator had pointed out that greed is one of the greatest poisons of our time. Reverend Dr. Nyansako Ninku was an inspiration to many. As he once said, the only salvation for the people is to listen to the church. Having served the church with utmost loyalty and humility, the late moderator was raised to the prestigious position of President of the All-African Conference of Churches in 2003. It should be recalled that the Right Reverend Nyansako served in several capacities at the PCC before his election to the office of the moderator in 1999. He was re-elected for a second 5-year term as moderator of the Presbyterian Church in Cameroon at the 41st Synod Growth Meeting in Kumba. The venerated man of God crowned his educational career with a doctorate degree in theology. The late moderator was an exemplary father and a role model. He leaves behind a wife and 4 children, as well as a Christian world to mourn him.
Et cet autre carnet noir, la Société Aéroport du Cameroun est en deuil. Le docteur Joseph Dipita Pokosi, président du conseil d'administration des ADC, a été annoncé mort ce 28 avril des suites de maladie. Aileen Sama nous dresse son portrait.
Honorable Joseph Dipita Pokosi Ndumbe, who served the country as government delegate to the Douala City Council from 1989 to 1996, was Member of Parliament with the Democratic Rally of the Cameroonian People RDPC Party, a trained pharmacist and president of Cameroon's Airport Company Board of Directors ADC for 20 years before his death on Wednesday, April 28, 2021 in Douala at the age of 88 after an illness. Workers of the ADC company have described Joseph Dipita as a patriarch and multi-dimensional leader, an important actor in the development of the enterprise, and most importantly, a library of contemporary Cameroonian history. The statesman was born on the 21st of August 1932 in Kaduna, Nigeria, and is of Sawa origin. Studied in Nigeria, Cameroon and France, where he graduated in pharmacy in 1959 from the Faculty of Pharmacy in a university in Paris. He began his professional career as a pharmacist in Cameroon in 1960, where he opened 2 pharmacies in Douala, economic capital of the country. He was the first mayor of Douala elected in 1956 and president of some pharmaceutical associations in the country. Joseph Dipita Pokosi Dumbe began his political career in the 1960s as municipal councillor for the Douala Council from 1962 to 1977, elected deputy of the Federal National Assembly in June 1970, was also a member of the CPDM Political Bureau since July 1992 and member of the Economic and Social Council since 1975. He leaves behind a wife and 9 children and now adds on the list of many dignitaries the country has lost this April 2021.
Madame, Messieurs, c'est la fin de ce journal préparé avec l'expertise de Fet Tata et Ewane Elai Nolinga. Merci d'avoir suivi. Bonsoir.